Hi, welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to get right to it. I've been really inspired by two really great YouTubers out there. Wesley Treat, which is right there, and Third Coast Craftsman right here. And they've been making signs and all types of stuff, but their sign making videos are pretty epic. And I already made one just as like a proof of concept because I've never done anything like this before. Made with just a piece of, I think, oak from Home Depot and some 3D printed pieces that I designed. And I think it turned out pretty good, so I'll go and put out some glamour shots right here. Yeah, it looks great. It really turned out amazing. So this new one is going to be round and slightly different. It's going to be the same soup tits type thing, but completely different idea behind it. And it all starts off with some plywood circles that you can buy on Amazon. 3 in a pack for like $12. And they have this really horrible smell to them, so I'm definitely sure that this is one of those things that will give you cancer in California. But they look pretty good. They're very round. They are quite smooth. And they actually have some nice grain on them. So I started out with one of them, the one with the nicest grain, and stained it with some acrylic paints, which it turned out pretty nice. This is just a Blue Lagoon acrylic paint, watered down in multiple layers, and then the last coat was Blue Lagoon with some black folk art acrylic paint, which has a really good, like a very dark pigment to it, so it turned out really good, and it actually shimmers a little bit in the grain lines. So I'm really happy with how this started. And so the next thing was designing the sign. I really wanted it to go and be soup tits, something like a classic sign. So I sketched this out. Of course, it's bigger than the circle. I wanted it to go and say Soup Tits Industries on there. I thought that would be pretty cool, so I wanted to go and kind of have it so the words would be on the lines and it would fit within this circle. Here it is, the final pieces. It does look weird. I know that these here are backwards. It's because this plane for these words that go on the top and bottom, this is the actual part that will be glued back there. I didn't want to fuss with the whole trying to go and glue everything down, and I did this one by eye and it looks a little off. So I decided to go and just make it so I can glue it, and then I can just use an X-Acto knife and cut these little plastic pieces. They're only like 0.75 millimeters thick, and this S&T. As you can see, the print came out pretty good, but there's like little boogers and everything on this side. It's just how it is. I probably could have used ironing and it would have smoothed it out a little bit more, but I've had some issues with ironing with my Prusa i3 Mark III. Yeah. And so I guess we'll go and pull these off here. I'll pull off the big S&T because the other side is already smooth, so we can just glue it right to the wood, but these will just be sanded down still on here just to go and make sure it looks good. So let's go and hop into that. So it's all scraped off. I use this palette knife because it's nice and thin and it gets right underneath all the letters. I took off the ST, and then I just kind of sanded the top of the other things real quick. I did scrape up my plate a little bit, but that's fine. Don't mind the mess here. This is it being glued up. I got the S and T all glued down with this stuff. What I pretty much use for everything. It's a super glue, gel, Gorilla Glue, fantastic stuff. I got some spray paint holding it down here, and these are still kind of sitting here. Once I know this is glued down, then I'll probably just glue a few down at a time maybe, and then just kind of keep it going, or I just might glue it all down in one sit. It's kind of messy. Who knows if that'll work. I'm not the best at gluing and keeping it clean. I really don't want to go and have anything on the clear coat here. So once this is done, I'll go and glue this down, and then I'll be back and cut off the little holder things. Okay, so here it is after a few days. I started cutting off the bits in between here on my nice new extension to my desk where my 3D printer will be sitting eventually. And I started off with this brand new X-Acto blade. I bought 100 of them for like $5 on Amazon, so they're pretty perfect. I did screw up and get super glue on the actual front here, but I was able to kind of like scrape it off, and I put some regular clear, like paint on clear acrylic paint over it, so it's not super noticeable. So I guess we'll just skip right to getting these off, maybe in a time lapse or something. In the light, there is some definite cleanup that needs to be done on the edges there, but otherwise I think that looks pretty good. So here we are a few days later, actually, because I just never got around to recording this. It's all done. I think it turned out really well. Everything's on there pretty sturdy. I have this actually attached to the wall with a French cleat. It's just kind of like an angled piece there, and it captures that same angled piece on the wall, and this is just screwed in with some drywall screws. So it's not super sturdy, but this isn't that heavy, and I got some pieces here to hold it against the wall, and it just plops on. I think it turned out pretty damn nice. With these two, I've learned quite a bit on how I should do things. I did like how the letters were attached together to make it easy for gluing, but it didn't turn out perfect. So I guess I'm going to go and use this as a learning experience for my next sign, using the same wooden circles. Since I have two more of these, I'm probably going to take the worst one and make it real smooth and nice and paint it a solid color with spray paint instead of letting the wood show through this time. I was thinking about making a actual railroad theme of a local railroad that hasn't existed since like the 80s. And I drew up a nice little thing on a post-it note, so hopefully I'll be able to translate that into another sign, and then I'll catch you there. So this will be part 1, and if you want to subscribe, then you can go and find out part 2, or not. It's not really a big deal. But thanks for watching this quick little project.